Hey guys, welcome to day one, video one. It's not really day one, it's more like day two of the holiday read along for My True Love Gave to Me. Yes, this is my US copy. I have my UK edition. It's in the living room right now. I am here to bring you the discussion for the first two stories. The first two stories are by Rainbow Rowell and Kelly Link. So I'm gonna be turning to the pages as I'm talking to you because I don't write notes. I just kind of wing it. The first story is by Rainbow Rowell and it's called Midnights. And then the second story is by Kelly Link and it's called The Lady and the Fox. So I'm not going to talk about the premises for the stories because if you've read it, as you should have, because that's what this video is about, it's a discussion video, then you know what the stories are about. I am going to save my deep thoughts or, you know, my rating I give this whole book and the stories. I'm going to save that for my wrap up, my December wrap up. But yeah, so let's talk about these stories. So the first story, Midnights. Rainbow Rowell, of course, her way of writing is just brilliant. I just always feel so good after reading a Rainbow Rowell anything. And I thought she was the perfect choice to really kick off this book. Her being the first author, just setting the tone for the short stories. And that's not to say that The Lady and the Fox is the same tone, because it's definitely not. It's totally different from Midnights. But Midnights is just a cute story that our two main characters, Mags and, oh my gosh, Noel, that's cute, are just kind of figuring out their feelings for one another through years of midnights, through years of New Year's Eve parties, and Noel being with other girls and Mags trying to deal with her relationship, defining her relationship with Noel. I thought this was the cutest story. Probably what I expected from Rainbow Rowell, to be completely honest, which is good. I expected this kind of thing from her. I was hoping for this kind of thing from her. Something really lighthearted, really adorable, and it just made you feel all of the feels as per usual. I like how the story starts off on December 31st, 2014, and then it goes through flashbacks of her budding relationship with Noel and their friendship and how they came to where they were at that point. And then of course it ends on December 31st, 2014. So I kind of like how it starts there and then it goes back to the past and then comes back to the present. So I thought that was really, really cool. I like that structure. It kind of teases you a little bit at the beginning, takes you back, and then brings you back again. And so, of course, I really like the development of these characters. As short of a story as this was, Rainbow really did let you know a lot about these characters, who Mags was and where she kind of stood psychologically, mentally, who Noel was and where he stood, you know, mentally, psychologically, even health-wise, because we know about his allergies to everything. He's also a really nice comic relief in the story where Mags can, you know, get a little bit too down in the dumps or a little bit too serious. It's very, very obvious in their willingness or lack of to dance. Noel really loves dancing. He dances on top of tables and, you know, takes off his jackets and whatnot, and Mags is always there to hold his jacket, and she's just very reserved and she's not really that receptive to being, you know, to letting herself be like that in the public eye, which is a really good definition or a really good foreshadowing of how the story was going to be in the first place. Noel just being gung-ho and dancing on tables and just going for it. He was even at one point, he was going to eat something that he was allergic to, and that's kind of how they met. And then Mags being the one that's, you know, more reserved and more poised and restricted a little bit. So I like how throughout the entire short story you see the personalities immediately at the beginning and you see them at the end as well. I really did enjoy how Mags goes from point A to point B by the end of the story. It wasn't rushed, even though it was a short story, and I believed it. I really felt for this girl as she tried to figure out how she felt about this boy and how to express that. And I really liked how Noel described to her how to, you know, how to tell someone that you want to kiss them without saying it, you know, doing the I kind of thing. I thought that was really, really funny. And then the conversation that they have together about how Max feels that guys should do the work and let a girl know that he cares about her. And I like how Noel countered her by saying there are certain situations or certain opportunities that are put in place, like the New Year's Eve kissing at midnight thing, for people who can't necessarily put their feelings out there. And the perfect example, when they were talking about the guy and the girl, can't remember their names right now, who liked each other, and it was obvious that she was shy, you know, and he was going to use the midnight kiss as an opportunity to finally tell her how he felt about her. I thought that was such a cool story, because that is so true. There are certain days like New Year's Eve where you finally just put it all out there and just kiss someone that you really enjoy. I mean, and if they aren't feeling it, I'm not saying just go ahead and kiss them, but, you know, do the I, like they said, and take it from there. And sometimes New Year's kisses can lead to something more. Just saying. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this story. So I really would like to know what you guys thought. What were your favorite parts of the story? Any quotes that you love? Any favorite scenes? Let's talk about it down below. Let's move on to the second story. The Lady and the Fox. This story took me a minute to get my head around, maybe because I read it because I was really sleepy. But this is by Kelly Link, and this takes our main character Miranda, who is staying with her godmother, let me see, Elspeth. And I was having a hard time categorizing the story until the middle of it. I said, oh, this is kind of like historical, fantasy, paranormal. It's not like contemporary. That's what I thought it was. I was under the impression that this whole book would be like contemporary. And so that's kind of how I went into it. This story didn't feel contemporary. I don't think it was, especially by the end of it, where you learn about who Fenny really is and what was up with him. I was rooting for Daniel at certain points in the story because I just felt like Miranda owed it to him, because I don't want to say owed it, that's not right. But their relationship felt like it could go somewhere at some points, but then she was so, you know, she really felt a connection to Fenny. Is that his name, Fenny or Fanny? Fenny. This story was really good, but I liked Midnight's better. It took me a minute. I had to reread a couple of paragraphs to really understand that, oh my gosh, this wasn't contemporary. Because like I said, I went in with the assumption that all the stories in here were contemporary. And yeah, probably my favorite scene in the story is when Miranda and Fanny first meet. And she's like, hi, I'm Miranda. My mom's in jail. Don't feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for you. Here, wear a jacket because it's cold outside. And you notice that he's wearing like old-timey clothes. And that's when it starts to dawn on me, like, is this dude like for real? Or is he like a figment of her imagination or what? And that's when I started to piece things together, you know, because I was like, what's he wearing? And then I really started to put things together when she was asking about Fenny and people were like, who the heck are you talking about? And I started to think, oh, this guy is not real. Is he real? Like, what's the deal? That rhymed. You know, I just started asking more questions when people just did not know who he was, and he claimed to be a part of that family. And I was like, what? And then Elspeth, like, how cool is she? Like, it's so funny when she gave Daniel and Miranda the joint to smoke, and she was like, if you're going to be irresponsible, you're going to be it under supervision. And I was like, okay. But I thought that was so funny. Daniel, of course, was going through his thing after, I guess, his girlfriend had broken up with him, and so he wanted to be all dramatic and everything. And I thought it was really interesting when Daniel decided to go and like declare his feelings, or, you know, be with Miranda. And Elspeth was trying to like set them up and play matchmaker between those two. Things get a little hot and heavy, of course, between them, and then Miranda's like, wait, whoa, hold up, no, stop, time out. Elspeth, of course, becomes a little suspicious of why Miranda isn't gonna pursue Daniel, and she even confronts her like, how do you know you're not in love? You seem a little, you know, sure about yourself for someone who hasn't been in love before, or have you been in love? And I really enjoyed when Miranda goes to see her mother, or she tries to go see her mother in Thailand, her mother's in prison. And she goes to Thailand to see her, and she can't. Because she can't see her mother, she ends up taking a trip, you know, to Japan and traveling, seeing museums and all that kind of stuff. So she makes it kind of like a life experience for her, which I thought was really interesting. And I would have liked to have seen more of that experience, to be honest. But again, it's a short story. It was interesting how we connected the dots that Finny only comes when it snows. And so because it's not snowing, Miranda decides to make it fake snow, thus making Finny appear. Then, like, as they're making out, she traps him, like, and locks them together, and the key to unlock them is, like, up in the attic or something. I thought that was a little cray, to be completely honest. I'm like, Miranda girl, what? And then that's when she realizes that her fake snow is still there, but real snow is coming as well. So she's done something to disrupt whatever Finny's connected to. And then that's when everything comes to a head. The person that's been tied to Finny comes to life, the lady, and she actually tries to manipulate Miranda to letting him go so that he can go back to her. And so she turns into Miranda's mother, she turns into Elspeth, and it's a big whole shebang. And the ending kind of confused me for a second, and it kind of ended weirdly, I think, but it worked for the story. I'm curious, what do you guys think? So what do you guys think of this story by Kelly Link? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you confused? Were there some end parts? And what did you think about Midnights overall? I know I asked you to comment down below with your favorite parts and your favorite quotes. Do the same for the Kelly Link story. I'm really curious what you think. Let's make it a discussion. It'll be fun. I will actually see you guys on Monday for a new video on the third and fourth stories in this book. I am so excited that you guys have joined me for this holiday read-along. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you tell your friends about the read-along that's happening. I know there are tons of read-along that's happening around this book, but I'm having video discussions, so I hope this is going to be fun for you guys. Make sure you thumbs up this video and you are subscribed to this channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!